Right, Mr. Clever, without all the prep that you have on jigs, this is ours. This is how we do angles, a bit more freehand. $45, $30, $25. So these are the two jigs that we use quickly on this cuts. We've got one set to 45 and one set to 25. What we found is when we make them is the longer this leading edge is here, the easier it is to use because you can keep it straighter. So if you imagine the blade is here, when you're going and keeping it on aim as such, the longer this is, obviously the smallest of movements there is very, very small back here. So it just basically keeps everything nice and straight the longer you've got it. Also, if you just use a bit of chipboard, it just slides really easy. It's nowhere near as sticky as when you use a track. But yeah, works really well. So simply, the plate on the cutter just fits on there, just as it would do on its normal track for Festool, and holds on. And then we cut perfectly an angle on the edge. I'll show you the 45 first, because basically the angle of the blade comes down, so we guide it on this point here when we're going along, and that's where the cut will happen. This one's actually stepped up. We've added a little block underneath, as you can see, and the reason for this is this just enables that little bit of extra height, enables us to cut it when it's not on the edge of a board. So here you'd have to cut it on the edge because the bottom, the other side of the blade basically has a holder on it as well, like this. It has in both sides, so it would be underneath the board. By raising it up like that, you can just gain yourself a little bit more space. The blade still cuts on this edge. It's positioned out if you look. So that's still our guideline, and that's what we hold it on when we're going along. But by having that height, it means you can cut it when it's in the middle of the board, basically. And that's simply how it works. So it just hangs over the edge, does that. And you can see by having this one, having it sitting on this, it basically just lifts it off so it doesn't touch. So basically you can do it in the middle of the board, edge of the board, wherever you want to do. Or if you make a jig like this, this will only work on the actual edge of the board, because otherwise obviously the cutter here, the actual base of it will be going underneath. We only cut 45s really on the edge, so that's why that was quickly made like that. But this angle here, this one we're doing through middles of cuts, and it's much more useful to have it so we can just do it through without having an edge.